All right, so that's kind of the direction we're going to go today. But before we get started, we do what we do every single week, guys. Right in that chat box. I want you guys to please type out for me. It's a freedom day. It's a freedom day. It's a freedom day. Type that out into the chat box. I need you guys to feel that. This is Freedom Coaching. This is a Freedom Achievers webinar. You guys are the Freedom Achievers. You're here to achieve freedom, and that's what we're going to do, okay? So today, I want you to internally feel that out, because what we're going to talk about today is communication. We're going to talk about, I hate the word scripts, right? Because I'm not a script guy. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? I'm not a script guy. But when you dial it down and you realize how often you say the similar things and how you approach things, it is a script. At the end of the day, it is a script. Thing is that I believe that you can be given a wonderful script and it could be crap for you, right? Because it works great for me, but maybe not so great for you. And I think you need to take scripts that are proven, that are shown to be useful. Take those scripts and be able to take them and create your own spin to them, whatever that means for you, right? That's where I can't coach you on a group setting like this. That would be like more of a one-on-one thing, right? Where I get to really dig into who you are and how you script, right? But my conversation with folks, when I ask them, do you own your home? Right. So I'm going down that list and, hey, Bob, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You know, I have my conversation. And then I go into business mode and I ask, do you own your home? Yes, David, I own my home. Oh, that's cool. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. Give me your address. And what I'm going to do is, with that address, I'm going to put you into my CRM. And once a quarter, you're going to receive the value of your home. Right? I'm not going to bombard you with a bunch of stuff. Don't worry about it. But at least once a quarter, you can see what's happening in your neighborhood, what's happening in your market, what's going on. And almost no one says no, by the way. Like 98% of people go, sure, I want to know what my house is worth, right? On automation. And then what I do is I get that message out immediately, right? That first one, and they get a value of their home. And then I call them up a couple of days later and I say, hey, Bob, did you get that email with the value? I just want to make sure it's working. Yeah, Dave, I got it. Man, you know, I saw the number and I thought prices were coming down. I said, Bob, who told you that? Well, CNBC and Fox News, and, you know, the world is crumbling and, you know, Bitcoin is gone. What are we going to do? Right. And so I'm listening to this and I just let them vent. Remember last week we talked about just let people talk, let people say what they need to say, right? And so I just let them go. And then I say, well, you know what, Bob? That's not the case, not in our market. Look, I can show you numbers in our market, but right now in the market that you're in, and I'll take one unit in particular, I said, in the market that you're in, you have very specific condo buildings directly around you, some nicer than others, right? But your unit's a two-story loft, it's redone, you know, I know it's only 560 square feet, but I can get you $200,000 for that 560 square feet. And he looks and he goes, really? Just based on that conversation, guess what I find out? You know what, Dave? I lost my job a couple months ago. And I don't owe anything on the condo, but now I owe $7,000 in back payments to the HOA. And they're sending me to collections, which, you know, I guess is not a big deal, but I know that they could initiate foreclosure at some point. And I said, yeah, they absolutely can. An HOA can foreclose on a unit. And he says, I need out. I'm on my way, buddy. I'm jumping in the Batmobile. I'm on my way. I'm going to go talk to you. Right. And so I get to the house and we sit down, we have this great conversation. And he tells me, David, I'm going to sell the unit and then I'm going to fly to the Tortugas and I'm going to meet a friend of mine who is leaving today, actually. Right. He's leaving on a 55-foot catamaran from France to the Tortugas. And he goes, what price do I need to be at so that I can leave to the Tortugas in about 30 days. So we came up with a number that's not $200,000 because that would have been a test the market kind of thing, right? But not much less. We're going to list at 195. We're going to keep it under 2, right? And I told him to expect 180. We're having the conversation. I'm telling him exactly what to expect, right? And then I said, what are you going to do in the Tortugas? He said, well, he has to take that same boat from the Tortugas to Mexico. I'm just going to go with him. This guy who lost his job, $7,000 behind on his HOA, living in his unit, not really sure what to do next, completely unaware that his unit is worth what it's worth. And now we come to him and we say, this is what it's worth. This is what I could sell it for. And he's completely surprised because he knew that it was going up. But then the last couple of months, all he's heard is the world is falling apart and my house is made out of cookie crumbles and I'm done, right? Like the government's going to come pour milk on my cookie. I'm done. It's over. And so I give him this good news. Do you think that we helped this guy out? This guy, by the way, this guy's living the dream. He went from depressed in his unit to, I'm about to put 200K in the bank, and then I'm going to go to the Tortugas and like sit on a catamaran and help my buddy take it to Mexico for, 3 weeks. And then I'm going to help him move another boat from Mexico to God knows where. And I'll be back sometime in January, and maybe you can help me rent something up in Broward County. I'm like, why come back? Right? Why come back? And so I, when you have these situations, it really makes you feel. To every person that thinks, oh gosh, Dave, I don't want to get on the phone and bother all these people. Right? Because for most people that are not used to doing this kind of thing, just building that massive amounts of communication, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're bothering somebody, right? So you see your list and you're like, oh, Joanne, man, it's gonna be such a weird conversation. I'm just gonna skip Joanne. You don't know what Joanne's going through. Just by doing what we did, we helped this guy. We freaking changed his life right now. He's got a path. He's gonna put a couple $100,000 in the bank and vacation till January. Who here wants to vacation till January? Put 200K in the bank. Me, for sure. I'll still be here every Thursday though. I'm gonna make sure I got that Wi-Fi signal, right? But I just feel like when we left there, I looked at Gene, who went with me to the listing appointment, and I said, Gene, we're about to change this guy's life just by simply creating communication. That's it. That's all we did, right? And so this goes back to the original thing is don't be afraid to call people. You don't know what someone is going through. I always used to make this joke, right? I used to say, we need to email consistently. I believe in mass email. Even though mass email, if you're the best of the best at it, you're going to get 15 to 18% open rate, okay? That sounds like crap, right? That basically means if you send 100 people an email, 15 to 18 of them are going to open the email and glance at it. But the other group of people, well, they're going to see your name. Before they delete, they got to see your name. They're going to see your name and a subject line. And they're going to go, I don't need that. And they're going to click the little box as they go through and delete all the garbage. Because at that moment, your email is garbage. But how do you know when that person is about to have a new baby? How do you know when that person is about to have a divorce? How do you know when that person, mother, gets sick and has to move in with them? How do you know? You don't know. So if you stay consistently in front of them, you never know. And then they see your name every day. Carol, 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 Carol. I see Carol every day. Dang it, she's always sending me stupid freaking real estate emails. Oh my God. And then one day, oh, I need a realtor. I can't believe this is happening to me. Right? And then that's the day he goes, Carol, that's right. I love you. And he calls you up and he goes, dude, I get your emails every day. By the way, I need to sell my house and buy something bigger because we're about to have twins. right? That's life. That's an opportunity to help somebody. See, I would say something. For the last 2 years, we had this unique situation in the market, and we really didn't need to do a ton of marketing. We just needed to be announced that we were in real estate and we would get deals, right? Very similar to 2006, 7. That was an insane time as well. Luckily, this is not 2008, and we didn't like wake up this morning and the world had really crumbled, right? Luckily, we're just finding normalization. Normalization for you, though, means that now you've got to put in the massive amount of work. Anybody who here knows Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk? You guys follow that guy, right? So I listened to a keynote yesterday, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary's very, very big on social media. He's actually made his entire career from email database and then moving into social media when the internet became a thing, right? And so he's doing this keynote, and he said, in a room full of real estate professionals, and usually I tell people, if you're not posting 5 times a day on social media and different platforms in different ways, you're falling off the map, because you can't control the algorithm and you can't control when somebody is going to see your thing. And as a joke, I tell people, and you can't control when somebody's gonna go use the bathroom and decide to check their Instagram. You can't control it. You don't know, right? So 5 times a day is what I typically tell people. You know what Gary Vaynerchuk said on this keynote? He said, moving into 2023, if you're not posting 15 to 20 times a day, think about how insane that is. He said 15 to 20 times a day on different platforms, then you're failing. And he said, many people think about this being a very difficult thing to do, right? Oh my gosh, what am I going to post 20 times a day? Well, if you see this really cool motivational video and you repost it on your story, that's a post. That's legit. You're telling people, wow, I found this really interesting. You should listen to it. Check it out. Right? But here, check this out. If you do a podcast, because by the way, every one of you should have a podcast, even if you got 2 listeners. It's all about how you promote it. So if you have a podcast, well, you get a mic, right? Put it in front of your face so you look cool, you look podcasty, right? You got a camera, right? Put the camera in front of you, and you create this podcast on your Zoom. Seriously, just log into your Zoom by yourself. Don't invite anybody unless you want to have a guest on your podcast. You can speak by yourself for 15 minutes, by the way, right? Talking about whatever you want to talk about that is related to your industry. And then you hit record on the Zoom. And you record yourself talking and podcasting and doing all this stuff, right? And then you take that and you remove it and you find 2 or 3 super high level, interesting things that you said that are 60 seconds or less. And you cut those out of it. Program is called CapCut, super easy to use. CapCut. I'm going to type it in the thing. CapCut. CapCut. That's the app, okay? If you download CapCut, you can have it on your phone. Also, you can have it on your computer. Super easy to use, lets you cut things very easily, okay? So you just cut out 2 or 3 pieces that are anywhere between 15 seconds and 60 seconds, right? And you take this out, these like super cool things that you said, right? You take the full podcast video and you post it on YouTube. You take the sound of the podcast video and you post it on your podcast. There is a program, a website called Libsyn. Posting that in there too. Libsyn will make it super easy for you to upload your sound, and it will syndicate it for you to Apple, Spotify, Google, anywhere people like to listen to podcasts, right? So now think about this for a moment. So far, I've posted in 2 places, 2 pieces of content, right? Now I'm going to take those 3 15 second to 60 second pieces, and I'm going to make reels out of them on Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to put them on Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm going to put them on my YouTube shorts. And then every one of those is going to say the cool thing that I said, right? Like, you need to really get into the market today, because if not, you're going, whatever it is that you say. And CapCut will even put captions on it for you automatically. You just hit auto generate captions. It'll create the captions for you, right? And then you post them in all these different places. Now, check this out. You have your YouTube long form video. You have the sound on Libsyn, so you're syndicated to different websites. Then you put a YouTube short, then an Instagram reel, then a Facebook reel, then a Facebook post, an Instagram post, an Instagram story, a Facebook story. Then you take LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. I've posted 12 posts off of this one podcast using only one of the 15-second breaks, or the shorts, right? The up to 60-second breaks. If I use the other two over the next couple hours or the next day, and I post in all those different places, I'm up to almost 30 posts from one podcast, from one 15-minute conversation I had with myself, a screen, a camera, and a mic. That's it. Hey, Dave, I don't have this cool look. You know, it's not going to be the same. And I don't have the cool GoPro camera that you have, so I don't have that quality. Guys, shut up. Take your phone, put it on a $12 stand from Amazon, turn it on, put your AirPods in, which, by the way, this mic is about as expensive as these. Okay, so AirPods in, and when you have your AirPods in, you have quality sound. This phone right here has one of the most quality cameras on the planet. Face it towards you and have a 15-minute conversation with it. Done and done. Easy peasy. That is it. And call it the Alain Espinard Podcast Episode 1. Whatever you want. But that's a series of posts right there, right? Okay? So getting back to conversations, think about the list and how we were able to help this guy out just by simply asking him, not being afraid to ask, hey, do you still own a home? Here's a better one, right? I don't own a home. No, I'm renting right now, Dave. Why are you renting? Interest rates are too high. Well, you know what the interest rate on your rental is? 100%. You're not paying down the principal for yourself. You're paying somebody else's principal down. You want an interest-only rental payment. And then they started laughing. Now I get a chuckle out of them. I go, no, but seriously, why are you renting? I want to know, right? Like, there's no reason to rent. Why are you renting? My credit score is not right. All right, now we're getting somewhere. You got some money saved? Yeah, I got a little money saved. Right? So what's your credit score at? Here's the best part. I heard this like 4 times. What is your credit score at? Dude, I'm only at like a 650, 660. Whose lender can get somebody a loan at 650, 660? Right? 100%. Right? So I go to them and I go, do you realize that with that credit score, you qualify for a mortgage? Nah, Dave, come on, bro. I need a 700 plus. I heard this like 4 or 5 times, guys. By the way, I'm a real estate coach, and these are people with my phone. That's my fault. That's my fault that they don't know, because they don't fall into my algorithm when I do the post about you don't need a 700 credit score to qualify for a mortgage. That's my fault. So, man, you qualify. Possibly. There's a lot of other factors in play, but your credit score is fine. Really, Dave? Get the excitement. There's 6 months left on my lease. Well, that's cool. Let's get the process started now, and then we'll talk about the lease. Let's go. I'm going to connect you with my lender, who happens to sit right there. Right? I'm going to connect you with my lender. and she is going to help you get qualified for a mortgage. And that qualification is going to be good for 60 days. And that's when you and I are going to go on the hunt, or one of my team members. And they go out and hunt. So I wanted to, because we've spent so much time about talking about your sphere of influence and the communication you need to have with them, right? I wanted to really give you those conversations. The conversation of, yes, I own a home, and the conversation of, no, I'm renting right now. I wanted to be able to give you those scripts, those kind of, and again, I hate the word scripts, okay? But I think it's imperative that we have a baseline to go off of. What are we trying to achieve at the end of the day? We're trying to achieve a few things. One, I'm creating, developing, and solidifying the relationship with the person I'm on the phone with, right? Number two, I want to get in front of this person to help them however I can. Whether that means that I sell their home, their cousin's home, their auntie's home, mommy's home, or I help them buy a home, or I help their cousin, their uncle, or their auntie, right? Like, I want to be the resource for them. You want to be the resource for them. You want to be the person, the only person that they think about when it comes to this kind of stuff. That is the mission. That is the mission. How can I get in front of you to solidify this relationship and help you achieve your real estate goals? Shit, that's the mission. So when you're on these phones, that needs to be on your mind. How does this conversation help the relationship that I have with this person? And two, I cannot hang up this phone without having an opportunity to get in front of this person. Yeah, Dave, I own my house. Hey, man, can I put you, let me get your address. I've got your email address. Let me get your address. I'm going to put you on an automated drip campaign. Once a quarter, you're going to get an email telling you the value of the home. Nah, Dave, I'm good. I don't need that. Okay, well, that's cool, man. Well, anything you need, you know that you can catch up with. You know what's a good idea? We should grab a coffee, bro. Yeah, we should. Let's get coffee. I'm available Friday. I'll be in the Gables. All right, cool. Let's have coffee on Friday in the Gables. Done. Right? How many of you guys with a company that pays you residual income for recruiting? Right? Here's a great conversation. Hey, man, I'm just checking up on you. How's everything? Everything's great. Wonderful. Listen, I'm updating my database. You know, I got your phone number. I got your email as, you know, roland@roland.com. You know, is that right? Yeah, dude, I'm just, you know, I've been selling a lot of real estate. And oh, that's awesome. Me too. Bling. Whole conversation changes. Yeah, you're in real estate? Absolutely. What company you with? No matter what the phone call, no matter the direction of the phone call, you have this amazing opportunity. No matter what. No matter what direction the phone call goes, you've got opportunity. Right? Now, I want to talk to you guys on another note. See, now we're in a different market. We were in a market where you took buyers to see 150 homes and you stood on really long lines outside, and every home had 150 like offers on it. And your method was make the best possible offer we can and like be really sweet to the other agent and send them cookies and coffee and like, what can I do to get my client into this house? Are we in that same market right now? No, we're not. There's no lines outside, guys. Right? Open house, crickets. Right? So what's happening now? If you do have a buyer, you can actually go look at 2, 3, 4 properties, and that buyer actually has a second to make a decision, which is healthy, by the way. That's normal life. That's a healthy market, right? So I want to tell you guys how I show homes. Some of you have heard this before, some of you have not. But I want to tell you guys how I show homes when I do show homes and how my team shows homes. And it's a very effective way because we utilize a lot of language and we utilize a lot of psychology when it comes down to it. So many of us, I'm sure, we do 100% print out client detail sheets for our clients when we're going to go look at properties. And I number them on the top, right? So if we're going to go look at 3 properties, I go, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, and I hand it to them when we meet at that first house. And I go, here you go. This is the houses in the order that we're going to see them. And the times are on there. The addresses are on there. I've highlighted them for you. So that way, in case you're not following me or we get separated, you know how to get there and we're good to go. Clients go, thank you very much. This is great. Then we walk and I give them a pen and I go, when we go to these homes, it's going to be very hard for you to remember everything that you see. So use these sheets to just take notes on, right? Take notes. And we walk the properties together. We go see property 1. Listing agent comes out. Hello, this is the kitchen. This is the bathroom. This is the living room, right? Welcome to the backyard. We hear that 3 times. And then we finish. And we walk over to my truck. And I say, you got those 3 sheets that I gave you for the properties? I go, yeah. I go, okay, let me see them real quick. And I grab them and I lay them out on my car. And I ask them, if you had to place an offer today, which one of these 3 properties would it be? Yeah, you know what, Dave? Number 2. Number 2 is awesome. All right. And I grab number 2 and I go, let me ask you this. Crazy scenario, right? But if we make an offer on number 2 and it turns out that we get outbid, what would be B choice? What would be your second choice? And they go, you know what? Number 1. Number 1 definitely works for us. It's a backup, right? In case number 2 doesn't work. I go, awesome. I take number 1 or number 2 and I put, of course, the second option behind the first and hand it back to them. And then I take the third option and I crumble it up into a piece of paper, like a paper ball. And I just toss it onto the windshield of my truck. And I look at them and they look at me in disbelief. And I go, that's not yours anymore. You love your first choice and your second choice is a great option. Number 3 can't work for you. We're getting rid of that. What have I done? Psychologically, I've taken that away from them. A lot of realtors make the mistake to leave too many choices open for your clients. They all have bathrooms. They all have bedrooms. They all have kitchens. They all have yards, hopefully. Roofs and walls and doors, knobs, sinks, right? They're all very similar. But when they've identified 1 or 2 properties, they felt something about them emotionally. Something works in that nature. So I take it away. Theoretically, because we all know that if 1 and 2 don't work, we're going to come back to 3 and go, hey, you know that third property I crumbled up and threw away? I can pull it up again if you want to see it for a second time, right? But it's theoretical and it's psychological, and I take it away from them. So now I look at them and I go, now that 3 is gone and we've got 1 and 2, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to head back to the office and I'm going to write up an offer for that first one. And I'm going to send it to you. We're going to review that offer together. And if it makes sense to you, we're going to go ahead and send it and present it. What's the difference between what I just said and, so would you like to make an offer on that property? If I say, so would you like to make an offer on that property? What have I done? Given them choices again. Right? I'm leaving them confused. They don't know, man. They're struggling. This is the first time, second time, maybe they buy a house. They're spending so much money, right? Their entire savings is about to be depleted into the purchase of a home. They don't know. So help them. So instead of saying, hey, so would you like to place an offer on that property? You know, I think we can do this, this, and that. You say, I'm going to write up the offer. And I'm going to send it to you and we can review it later on today. Is that okay with you? Sure. And this is what I do. I go home, I run comps, I make sure the numbers are good. I come up with the right number. I come up with the right deposit. I talk to the agent on the other line. I find out if anything is popping over there, if they got other people interested, what's happening. I feel out the seller. Tell me about the seller. Are they open to any contribution? Can I buy down my client's points? What can I do to help this client and seller meet each other in the middle ground and come to a consensus of a transfer of property here. I write up the contract, I send it to them so that when I call them, I say, let's review this together. And we get to that first page, and that first page has that big number on it, that purchase price, right? And we have a conversation about that purchase price. And I explain to them, I ran the comps. This is what I found. This is the best value of the property. I think this is going to be the best option. I spoke to the agent. Agent says that the seller's a little bit, a little wiggly room, but not a whole lot. So let's see what we can put together with this. We put a strong deposit as an initial escrow to show our good faith. We have a 7-day inspection period because why not? I'm tired of these 3-day inspection periods that I've been trying to, get inspectors out same day, right? We have time now. Market shifted. We have time now. I spoke to the seller. Seller is down to give you a $10,000 credit if you offer full price. So that's what I wrote up. My high suggestion is that you use this $10,000 credit to buy down your points with the lender so that your monthly mortgage can come down. And I have those conversations. And then I get them very comfortable with the contract and get very comfortable with the home. It's thoroughly explained. I've been 100% transparent. And there's a very good chance that they go, okay, Dave, we'll sign it tonight. We'll get it over to you. Very good chance. Is there a chance that they're going to say, you know what, Dave, we talked it over, man. I think we need to see 3 more houses. Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. But if you retract and you go, so would you like to make an offer on this property? You really have no data. You have nothing. You just kind of have sentiment, feeling of where you are right now. It's just too much of an open-ended question. They have no freaking clue, man. But if I show them the offer and I explain to them why the offer is what it is, it makes a world of a difference. Right? All right. So who here feels like they can show a house like that and get it done? Nice. Loving it. All right. I want to hear stories. So if you guys get out there and show houses and you try this tactic, I would love to hear how it went for you. I would love to know how it went for you. I would love to know the success that you had with it, right? Now, the first time you do it, you might be a little nervous, crumbling up those other papers, right? Like 1 and 2, okay, this is your primary and your backup, and you sold 10 houses that day, that means you're crumbling 8 papers, right? And you're tossing them, which, by the way, in today's market and the direction that it's going, you should limit yourself to 4 properties per showing. There's a reason behind that. On property 6 and 7, they all start to look the same, and they don't even remember what property 1 looks like anymore. We were in a crazy market where we had to run around so quickly and so madly. We don't have to do that anymore. You be patient. Patience also means that you're not getting as many deals in, so you have to build that pipeline, which takes me back to communicating with every single dang person you know. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. With a phone call, like a legit phone call. Those of you that are 30 and under, not a text, a phone call. This thing right here, it has a speaker. It's insane. And then you can speak to it and the people can speak back to you. It's insane. Use it. Because sound is another part of the psychological process. Right now, those of you that have your cameras on, right? I'll pick on you, Teresa. Teresa and I, we're looking at each other. She hears me, right? Teresa, have we ever met in person? No, we've never met in person. But Teresa can walk away from here and go, I can recognize David, and I've heard his voice. I know David. She can walk away and say that. She can walk away saying, I know David, because 2/3 of our physical relationship exists. She has seen me. She has heard me. The only thing left is for me to run into Teresa one day and go, wow, what's up, girl? Give her a big hug, right? That's the only thing left. And that covers all the necessary portions for a relationship between 2 human beings. So when you call somebody, that sound is what does it. Text is not a part of the human relationship development. But you know what could help? a video. Now, many of you have heard me say this before, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. If they don't pick up the phone, you leave a voicemail. Always leave a voicemail. As soon as you hang up, you're going to send a video and you're going to say, hey, Teresa, it's David. Just wanted to reach out to you. Working on my database. I've been selling a lot of real estate, so I'm trying to get everybody's name, email, phone number right. I just want to confirm your information with you. Give me a call whenever you get a chance, buddy. See you soon. That's it. Simple. Right? Simple. You got to practice it 3 or 4 times before you send it. By all means, do so. But I promise you, by the time you've sent your 20th video text, that's going to come so natural, it's not even going to matter. But Dave, I didn't do my makeup. So what? Right? Dave, my hair's messed up. Put on a hat. Dave, I don't like the way I look on camera. Newsflash, that's how you look in real life. And by sending that video, what have I done? I've equated to what you are feeling right now. If I send you a video, you see my face, you see my physical and emotional presence, and you hear my voice. You know that when I send these video messages, like 60% of the time, 50, 60% of the time, people send me a video message back because they think it's so freaking cool. Right? And I love that. Dave, what's up, man? Doing this video, you send me a video, so I'm sending you a video. Yeah, man, my email is abc@abc.com. Hit me up. And that's it. Then I'll text them, hey, when do you have time to chat? Get on a phone call. Later on tonight after 6. Cool, I'll call you. Man, I know today we're going to spend some time on scripts. These are the most simplest, easiest scripted pieces you could ever do. Right? Now we can go listing appointments. What's the purpose of a listing appointment? To list a house. The bigger purpose is to know why you're listing it in the first place. And I want to tell you that there's like some amazing, like blue pill, red pill script that comes with this, but there isn't. There's a conversation. And the conversation is very simple. You guys sit down and you ask, can I ask you a personal question? Sure. Why are you selling this house? It's beautiful. Why are you selling it? And get to understand the why. I'm moving to Georgia. Georgia? Wow, what part? Atlanta. Why Atlanta? My grandkids are there. I want to spend more time with them. I'm tired of being away from my family. It's fantastic. How soon do you need to be in Atlanta? Well, my grandson's birthday is in December, so I'd like to try and sell and be there situated before then, so I don't have to travel there and come back and deal with the move. It's amazing. You know what? I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that you are packed and gone. As a matter of fact, we're going to do photos on Friday, and I'm coming back later today with a 10-pack of boxes from U-Haul, and I'm going to drop them off to you. And I want you to take every frame and everything that you have on countertops and this and that and stuff like that. I want you to start packing that because I'm going to get you ahead of the game. We're going to clear all of that up for the photos, but we're not just going to have you shove it in some room. I want you to pack because I'm going to get you out of here on time. Not if you give me the listing, this will happen. I said, no, this is what I'm going to do. Because if you have the confidence, then you instill the confidence in them. Very simple process. And it's all in the way that you say things. It's all in the way that you present yourself. I get new agents all the time that come to me and they go, Dave, but I'm a new agent. I haven't sold a lot of property. Well, guess what? They're only going to know that if they ask you. And most listing sellers don't ask. Especially if you walk into that listing appointment confident, capable, and willing to do the job. And I say things like, no one else will ever show this home without me. Because that's a policy on my team. We show all our listings, even if they're vacant. Doesn't mean you have to do that. It's what we do. Even if the property is vacant, we put a lockbox on it. We never, ever give anybody the lockbox code. They have to set an appointment with one of our agents. Does that take time? Yes. Do I believe that my team or myself is going to show that property better than someone who doesn't even know the property? Of course. You are putting, by not showing the property, you're putting all of it into the buyer's agent's hands. First time they've been there too. So they're going to be walking around, looking around. Oh, yeah, it looks good. Looks good. It's got drywall, right? Or you can go there and explain the home. So that's our policy. So I always tell our sellers, we will be there for every single showing. We will be here. And I set expectations. I will be here. You cannot be. Sellers go, oh no, but I just want to help. Nope. You're hiring me to sell the house. Let me sell the house. This is what I do. Now I know that you know this property better than anyone on the planet. But trust me when I tell you that the second you open your mouth and you talk about the pride that you have and what you've done to this home, you're going to make the buyer feel like they are taking something away from you. And they go, shit, that makes sense. All right, I'm out of your way. I'm not telling them that I don't want them there because they're going to screw the pooch. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're here and you're like, oh, and I spent all weekend, or 2 weeks putting up this, C5 drywall. It's the best drywall on the market. I have a friend that got me a killer deal, and I personally wired everything around. And I love, and I sit here and I watch TV because this is the best space and the acoustics, and killed it. Buyer's like, man, I'm taking this person's home away, right? But if the person's gone and you say the acoustics, right? I'm saying the acoustics in this living room is phenomenal. I'm going to turn on the radio for you. You've got to hear this. Then the person goes, oh yeah, my stereo is going to sound great in here. It's a big difference. And it's all in the approach and the communication. So I think I want to spend, we talked a lot about communication and how to communicate. And I want to next week, pick on some of you guys. So I would love to be able to role play with some of you guys personally, and I'm going to handpick probably like a couple people to role play with each other. And I think that practice, guys, is going to help you guys on the next communicative situation, right? So next week we'll go over scripting out how to speak to the buyer after the 3 showings. Next week we'll go over scripting out a conversation with a seller, right? Next week, we'll script out speaking to your sphere of influence because you're going down the list and calling each and every one of them, right? And we'll go back and forth. I'll be your sphere of influence, or we can flip it around and you can test me, right? And whoever gets me and stumps me, free martini on me the next time I see you, okay? All right, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And thank you again for joining us every Thursday. We're here at 11 a.m. Same link, same everything, guys. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.